against maybe something we have learned that history is the past, I would say no. Integrated history is presence alive through us, having conversations, living in this world, innovating technology, having scientific breakthroughs, and caring for our children.
Welcome to Point of Relation with Thomas Hübl, a podcast that illuminates the path to collective healing at the intersection of science and mysticism. This is the Point of Relation.
Today's episode was previously recorded for an online event with Thomas. Although it took place at an earlier date, the insights and discussion remain relevant.
Today, our kind of mutual exploration and kind of insight nugget is about our ancestral context. One way of resourcing is what our ancestors hand over to us. And what are they handing over to us? Our ancestors, and let's look at this for a moment. As you are sitting here and I am sitting here, hundreds of thousands of years of life, living, is sitting here in its concentrated form. I think that's amazing. That the roots of our ancestors into the planet, there's my life and my ancestors' lives, there are cultures. The mother of culture is nature, as the planet. And often we might experience ourselves as like a particle that's walking around on the planet, when in fact, every one of us is the planet living. I think that's very important. That's also very important for ecology. We are the planet living, being alive. Biosphere is a living planet. And so integrated history, against maybe something we have learned that history is the past, I would say no. Integrated history is presence alive through us, having conversations, living in this world, innovating technology, having scientific breakthroughs, and caring for our children. Innovative, like life, integrated history means that we are present with what is. And we notice this. These are the parts of our lives we can enjoy. These are the parts of our lives where we feel grounded, regulated, related. So integrated history is here as us. Unintegrated history, like traumatized history, is the history that is split off, that is frozen in the permafrost of our cultures, that is frozen in our bodies, in our relationships, in our societies. And that unintegrated history is often the part of our ancestry that our ancestors couldn't deal with or even created harm. And they handed it over to us as well. So the whole achievements of humanity, plus all the trouble and all the also pain we created, we inflicted upon each other as humanity, has been handed over to us. And our soul is the power to bring light, creativity, innovation, healing into that whole legacy. And why I'm talking about that is, first of all, we often see like as if history is behind us. No, history is in us. And groundedness in life means that I'm connected to the ancestral stream. That's why ancestral healing work in our IAC framework, individual, ancestral, and collective fluidity, I call it, because trauma healing is liquefying the world, is making the world more fluid. And IAC trauma structures means that they're individual, ancestral, and collective, trauma fields that are not evolving, they are not developing, they're frozen. And ancestral healing work is very important because it's part of liquefying and harvesting the learning that is still stuck in the trauma. Because as long as we don't integrate the trauma, we don't integrate the learning. So with every trauma integration, there is post-traumatic learning, because integration is learning. Integration expands who I am, how I look at the world, how much I can include. Unintegrated trauma, there's still some learning frozen in the ice, and we can get to it. That's why ancestral healing is very important, because it's liquefying the learning that our ancestors couldn't harvest, couldn't access, was too painful, or was the pain that our ancestors created. And we are here to take the whole thing a step forward. And so ancestral work connects us to the ancestral resources, to the power, as I said, like we are not the first ones going through beautiful and difficult times. And all the experience of life doing that is sitting in us. We have access to that resilience. And we can see in some people that survive terrible life circumstances how that resilience helped them to do that. And we also see that we have a package to carry. And if we carry that package of trauma that has been handed over to many of us with care, with curiosity, with interest, and we're also interested in the transgenerational relationality, which is a data flow. So our bodies can flow more when we open up the transgenerational data flow. So opening, doing ancestral work, but also just reconnecting. Maybe just here as you listen to, wow, I am part of a bigger context. And my roots matter. Because when I know where I'm coming from, my direction and my purpose and vocation also get clearer. So because it's a flow, it's a stream. And ancestral responsibility, being able to respond to our ancestors, opens our gates to the future generation and our responsibility towards the future. So there is like a cross ancestral responsibility 2022, and a responsibility or sustainability to live a life that serves the future generations. That's actually like holistic responsibility, sustainability, however we want to call it. And so in the trauma, we might often feel numb, separate from our ancestors, and bringing attention also to the numbness, that the numbness is not bad, the numbness is a function. And if I learn how to work with that intelligence or that function, I can create more access to my ancestors, and I can become the future that may be inspired and supported and was a resource of our ancestors. Same as sometimes in our lives, we feel a support, an inner strength, almost a presence that is with us when we go through difficult situations. So we are not just existing as a separate particle without the context. We are in a much bigger context. And ancestral healing work can help us to feel that context and also heal the wounds that we carry, so that we sometimes feel separate from nature and we treat nature like a commodity, or we abuse nature instead of living with nature in a mutual and respectful relationship. All of that and much more, of course, is part of ancestral healing. And I hope it you can take it into your day and move that forward with your own thinking and exploration in whichever way you want.
Visit collectivehealingconference.com to listen to featured talks from our most recent conference and sign up to be the first to know when the next conference is announced.
Thanks for listening to Point of Relation with Thomas Hübl. Stay connected and get updates about new episodes by visiting our website, pointofrelationpodcast.com, and by subscribing to the Thomas Hübl YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share about us with your community on social media. Thank you. We appreciate your support.